Hello and welcome back, everyone, as we are preparing for Game 2 of the final series of the day here for Week 6 of NACL. And Maryville University felt like they took their loss to FlyQuest personally yesterday, and they watched FlyQuest games against AoE today, and were like, oh, we can do that better. Oh, absolutely, we can end our games cleaner, faster than FlyQuest was, because that was blistering pace in Game 1.
That was ridiculous. It kind of felt like they had a tough time. They're like, okay, that was a little bit tough. Now let's go into the baby seal pit and find something a little bit easier to take care of. And that was, it didn't feel like there was any path in for AoE because it started off so early. And it wasn't like a level 1. It's the fact that we saw Jerry and Zyko move in to, as you were describing it, give Kisno absolutely no breathing room. He had nowhere he could go. He did not control his bottom side of the jungle. And even if he was like trying to play towards Dragoon and trying to force a vertical jungle, well, Jerry and Zyko were already beating up on Rockboom and Plex anyway.
Yeah,
they were just going to suffer even worse. He needed to provide them at least some support.
It felt like and when we look at LiT into Maryville matchup, expectations also feel like it's going to be a Dragoon show. If Dragoon can get off the ground and get a carry champion, that is the avenue for success for LiT. But you're right, we didn't even get close to that in Game 1 because bot lane got so heavily outclassed in the 2v2. From the first invade, Kalista gets a kill from that moment on. Scary Jerry did not let Rockboom and Plux have any breathing room. So let's think about that in frame now of a Fearless Draft. We have the champions that are no longer available for each team here. So I want to hear from you, Josh. What do you want as priority from LiT? Heavy underdogs going into this Game 2, but what do you think are some key takeaways from Game 1, or maybe key differences you want to see in Game 2 when it comes to draft?
The biggest thing, as we actually just jump directly into it, is I always want to see the team that is the underdog come at it and try and increase the variance of the game, right? You always need to try and find something where it's like, hey, if this character pops off, I don't care if I'm playing against Faker. I can beat them if I'm 4-0 on Katarina. You know, that's the kind of attitude I want to see people go in with.
Sure.
And now that they are on the red side again, I believe they're the only team that has lost that has chosen not to be on the blue side. They need to find something else like that. The biggest problem, the Hui, a relatively safe character, but also is incredibly easy to punish for Spyrex. And Spyrex still has his Akali in the pocket that, like, this is a good character for Spyrex, but not even his best.
I feel like the reason we see LiT on red side so often is because they want that counter pick for Dragoon, because that is often how they pick up wins when they do find those wins. So the difficulty of that is you're giving more opportunity for your opponent to ban you out. We saw the Mordekaiser and the Darius bans last time around. I would not be surprised if those are the same bans this time here, but we also are, okay, Darius even earlier, but we're still taking away the Kalista and the Jhin because Scary Jerry will not get the Kalista this time around. Might as well take it away from Rockboom. Still TF, Ashe, and Azir on the side of LiT.
Yeah. I do respect this Darius ban relatively early because I did think that there was a line where LiT went Darius on 3 and then banned away a couple of things I didn't want Niles to play into it. That was a line that I could have seen, but with the Varus very naturally being locked in here, there's a lot of difficulty that you can have going into Maryville. Now, I am pretty vocal right now about how strong I think Smolder is. However, I do not think you can even slightly afford to play Smolder on 14-4 into a VAR or a Scary Jerry VAR's lane just because you're not going to get to 225 stacks. If that last game was any indication, the game is going to end before you have an opportunity to start executing.
And we set Rockboom up going into the last game as a promising-looking rookie, somebody that we are going to keep our eyes on going forward. This is his first split competing at this level, and we do have a lot of hopes for him as a player, but Scary Jerry's just had this mountainous rise in what his capabilities are and now what he's able to show in the laning phase. It's going to be Kai'Sa into the Varus instead. I haven't seen Kai'Sa in quite a while. She has not been one of the popular picks so far this year.
Yeah, she did get a buff on this patch where the range on her ultimate, you can do it from farther away, which is, it feels good, right? More than anything else, it feels good because you can join fights from a bit further. However, at the pro play, I don't think it's going to matter nearly as much as it's nice to have. However, Kai'Sa is already a champion that could kind of do similar things to Varus, where you could go on hit builds, you could go AP builds, you have different ways to play it. The problem is you can't just take worse trades at auto attack range going into the forest, so it does force you to adapt to that. Jace also got some buffs on this patch. Really like this character, and it does okay into the Hui in my head, but I've actually never played it because I've never played into a Hui yet.
Okay, the Nautilus makes a lot of sense here for pairing with the Kai'Sa, and that might discredit what I was about to say, is that I still, when I see Hui locked in, I'm never believing it is guaranteed mid lane. There's always at least like a 10% chance it could go support, and with the way that they were playing bot lane and with the range disadvantage that Kai'Sa has, I could imagine Hui support actually being really hard for Kai'Sa to deal with. Now that Nautilus is locked in, I'm not sure if you want to play Hui at the Nautilus. You might just, get hooked and then die immediately.
I think you can probably still do it. Like, the Kai'Sa damage early in the lane is not that high unless she gets isolated Qs, which is really tough, like, if you're going for some of these hooks. So, it's still possible. We'll see how the rest of the draft comes out, banning away you in the draft as well. So, the biggest thing that we do need to see from this position is, at some point, Niles will have to blind pick something that Dragoon can counter pick. They've already banned away the Mordekaiser, so that frees up a lot of different things. And there's a lot of things about Mordekaiser that only Dragoon knows. Now, the last champion that I can think of about Dragoon that's like, yes, that is the character that he plays, that no one else does, is Nasus.
I mean, who does Nasus counter, though? I feel like that's such a slow stacking champ that I don't know if that's going to be the key to LiT winning.
Nasus is a one-item champ, and anybody who tells you otherwise doesn't know how to play the champion. The thing about Nasus is, as soon as you get level 9, you have maxed out your Q, and also you have finished your Trinity Force or whatever your Sheen item is. That is your strongest point. If you do not build a lead during that window where you just stat check everybody in the game, you're never going to have success in the rest of it until you are literally one-shotting people with your Q.
Well, we'll see if that's on the table here for LiT. Right now, it's the Jace, which technically flexible if we want to consider it that. They could move it around depending on what the matchup's going to be, but it's looking like not Hui in the support role based on what MU is hovering. They're going for other supports. There she is, well locked in. So more engaged now for MU. Rel plus Varus is actually kind of a scary bot lane for the Nautilus Kai'Sa to deal with.
Yeah, the big thing here is, again, where do you send this Jace? Like, where does Maryville want to go? I'm trying to figure out if they're spelling something, but either way...
Yeah, they keep doing Warwick and Mumu, like wah-wah. It was Niles and Zyko doing it together.
Yeah,
are they dehydrated? Do they need water?
Make sure you get, make sure your hydro homies are all taken care of. This Rumble coming through, you can play the Jace into it. You do have a lot of tools. The Rumble is fine, but I do not think that is their path to victory. I think you need to take something that can actually beat it in lane. I'd actually prefer to send the Jace, then you give messages something different, but it is going to be Dragoon on this Udyr up on the top side. Now, we saw how quickly the bottom side of the map collapsed last game. This is once again a difficult lane matchup for Rockboom and Plux, and Yuji on a very aggressive champion that can kind of pick and choose where he wants to go. He can go up top lane and guarantee that Dragoon is put behind. He can go mid lane and help Spirax find kills onto messages, or he can go bot lane and actually affect dives because LiT has chosen to be on the red side again, and the red side bot, pretty easy to get kills on.
And Yuji's already amassing a bit of a highlight reel of Lee Sin plays from this split alone. So this is a champion Yuji's practiced on, very comfortable on, and has the tools around him to work, especially that bot side. I'm expecting, we did over-under for game time last game. I want to do over-under. Before 10 minutes, how many dives happen bot lane? I'm going to say 2.5. Over or under dives bot lane?
Oh, that's a good number. That's a good number because it is tough to guess. Does it have to be against red side, or is it on both sides?
It's got to be red or blue side diving red side.
Okay. I'm going to take over then.
Over 2.5 by
over
10
2.5.
minutes. Let us know in chat what you think as well, who you think is going to win this one. Spam MU for Maryville, spam LiT for LiT Esports. That game one was not particularly close, but LiT are going back to the drawing board and going to try again. Just straight walking in for the invade here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now,
I still always, if you're going to go for this in solo queue, everybody, make sure you hug the bottom wall because you give way less time for your opponent to react. If you just walk straight at them, they see you walking straight at them, and they actually can just walk away. And now LiT don't know that they're spotted.
Jerry was also standing in the wrong place. This is really big because if you want, if you want to sit in that bush to try and prevent invades, you want to be standing in the top part of the triangle because you can see earlier as people come around the bottom side, and you don't lose vision on the top
Thank you,
side.
observers.
Yeah, next to the the mushroom or the frog or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Because you get more vision around that corner. There's something there. There's like a brownish thing. Either way.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Wait, what is it?
It's a
It's a snail.
Yeah.
Okay, so stand by the
Stand by the
snail if you're defending the invade. If you're going for the invade, hug the bottom wall. So usually you go through bot lane, walk up to the wall, hug it the entire time around, because once you get around that lip, you give the least amount of time for them to react. Either way, all that is to break down how LiT approached. Nothing actually came of it, so...
Yeah, there is counterplay to it though. Like that is one of the things about standing in there. If they know you're gonna stand there, it's a cool thing. I've punished players for that in the past. Either way, going into it, this is one of the big things. So we are seeing Kisno change up the path that they were taking. Last game, they passed from the top side of the map towards the bottom side of the map. This time, they're pathing towards the top side, which does leave Rockboom and Plux to their own devices, but will allow them to help out Dragoon earlier in the game, which I do think is still a path to victory, even if Dragoon is not in the same kind of high damage character that he is sometimes known for.
Sure. Oh, wait, Message is taking a 1-1 against Spyrex early on, gets Flash out of the way, misses that final shock blast. Yeah. Maybe would have been enough to get that kill, but still has Flash available, low on mana. I don't think we see an angle here.
Yeah, it is tough. One of the things, if Messages can get level 3, like he is now, he gets some mana back, and also you get more mana back on this patch every time you go for a hammer melee attack. That said, that's also the way, if you want to go for like a kill opportunity as Jace, you usually do it starting in hammer form, because that's where you jump on top of them as they get away. That's when you switch over to the range form, so it takes them longer to get out of your range. You can get more effective damage down that way than if you start in range.
You keep auto-attacking as they're running under their turret at that point. Yeah, well, close to the solo kill, doesn't get it, still gets the flash advantage. So Spyrex had to use that. To me, that says, Kisno, start looking mid lane. You might have an angle here, as also you're going to want to look bot side, because Yuji yet again is invading and taking away a blue buff. This is 2 games in a row now that Yuji says, your blue buff? I think you mean our blue buff.
Our blue buff. Whoa, is that crab really small, or is that just me?
You know what? It does look a wee bit small.
Yeah. Either way, they end up getting it, and then Yuji does get it. The smite lifted out 1, but still getting the auto attack down. And now Zyko returning towards the bot lane because Scary Jerry did get an opportunity to go for a back. And overall, the priority coming out from Scary Jerry and Zyko is still allowing Yuji to be very aggressive. And Plux.
Oh, wow. I am amazed that Plux lived right there. Okay, both junglers are hanging out around the area. We're going for Rockboom. Does have Flash, does have Cleanse. Uses the Cleanse early. Sonic Wave lands! Yuji almost gets on him. That's Flash away from the Kaisa. Burning down. Yuji gets first blood. Flashes to safety, but will still fall. Kisno picks up the kill credit. 1-for-1 trade. Can Scary Jerry Zyko get anything more? Crash down on the Kisno. Gets the stun. One final arrow. It's there. Now Plux lands the dredge line and wishes he had it back. A double kill to Scary Jerry. And Zyko gets out alive.
Oh my gosh. Such a tough position to be in. The fear comes through. Good job from Spyrex. But oh my gosh. Scary Jerry, remember, you get reduced cooldowns every time you proc a blight stack on someone with one of your spells. Seeing the extra opportunity. Oh no. Don't do it.
Oh, real close from Spyrex there.
Damn. Maryville, turns out this bottom lane is pretty good. Honestly, really impressed that Yuji was able to land the Q into Rockboom in the first place, which is how that fight got started. And now there's a big problem because Scary Jerry is walking back into lane.
Flash messages, there we go! That's what the flash advantage gets you. If you land a big shot flash, if you get them low enough, you can just flash, hammer form, jump on top of them. Yuji not giving Kisno any room to breathe right here, but he has Plux in his back pocket, so Yuji could be in trouble. Stunned up, locked down. Plux trying to get the damage in, but here comes Zyko over the turnaround. Messages is low. He jumps in. It's a 2-for-1 trade as Niles roasted up everybody with the equalizer. Plux can't get away. Niles with the double kill.
Alright, it's not as clean as the first game was. That solo kill going over to Messages is a bit of a blemish on Spyrex's near perfect reputation so far, but so far still 2,000 gold already in the lead. I do have to ask you, Steve, did that previous thing count as a dive?
Oh, that's a good question. I kind of forgot about that already.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't answer what I thought it was going to be, so I have no horse in this race anymore.
Okay, so I'm the only one who can be wrong, so I'm going to say that it's a dive.
Okay, you know
it
what,
was underneath the turret.
I'll allow it, yeah.
Yeah, they were tanking turret, you know, it counts. And so now Maryville, they pick up a dragon as well, but there's no one to dive but. Okay, come on, Rock Boom, Plex, you got to work with
They
me,
got
Mark.
3.5 minutes, you're good.
Yeah, I said more than 2.5, so we'll find out.
Oh, that's
like,
point, actually.
You know, they got to do it more than once per minute. Oh, okay, good job, Steve, good job.
You know, just
appreciate
like a variance
the insightful analysis.
Yeah,
of course. You know, you got to get the disagreements going.
Too boring. Otherwise, Dragoon shaking a really good trade against Niles here. Knows that there's no equalizer, so feels very confident to just walk up and try and bully the Rumble a little bit. But Niles is playing on the range very well. You know, just not letting Dragoon get that many auto attacks off. We also see the grub started up by Kizno, and there's nothing to trade on the bottom for Yuji other than camps. Maybe a dive. Wait a minute.
Maybe a dive. Yuji's going.
It's happening. They're pinging it. Okay, so we're on grubs down here, but let's take a look at bot side because a dive is about to happen. The wave is crashing. This is a big one. Can Plux and Rock Boom survive? Yuji has the red buff. It's Zyko that starts it off. Lands the CC perfectly.
Nice.
Can stand on the edge. Tank up one more shot. And there it is. A successful dive for MU. They'll get 2 for free.
Wow. Okay, so we have 2.5 minutes left. We already get our third one. I believe in you guys, but that is a lot of money once again going into the bottom lane. And this has been something that has been really, really good for Maryville's confidence, I think, is watching Yuji and Scary Jerry coordinate a lot more than we've seen Jerry coordinate with previous junglers for Maryville. It's oftentimes been, you know, the Niles iconic show. They would always go up towards the top lane. In fact, they're the reason why you can't duo in high elo for years and years. It is a spot where now that you have Yuji, he's a bit more flexible. He actually leaves Niles to his own devices quite a bit and is helping out Spyrex and Scary Jerry in order to have success.
I mean, what a showing from the bot side of MU. Yes, Yuji's setting them up. Yes, it is a different look for MU, but it also is execution from Zyko and Scary Jerry. Trust from Yuji to say, yeah, I know that my bot lane can carry if I give them resources, and it's worth it for us to go for that strategy. Scary and Jerry and Zyko, Zyko also mentioned to Mazel earlier when he had a chance to catch up that Zyko's goal for this split is to prove by the end of it that they're the best bot lane in the NACL. And honestly, they have a really strong argument so far. They've been doing this, not just the Rock Boom Plugs, but the multiple lanes so far this spring split.
Yeah, I definitely think... Oh,
okay.
Dragoon.
Have the equalizer come down. Dragoon's trying to trade damage, has the ghost pop. Yuji missing the Sonic Wave. Still jumps in. Dragon's Rage for the kill. And Yuji picks it up.
That's the mark of a good player. Make a mistake and still find the line anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Zyko's
getting
walking
caught.
up to Kizno. Two mounted
I want to go back.
And one runs away.
I do want to go back to the... I don't have time. Good body blocking for Zyko.
Good dodge. Yeah, you're right. And now he just turns it right back around, and Plux is going to be the one to die. Are you kidding me? No way. Scary Jerry's going to get more. Rock Boom takes a turret shot. That's going to give a triple kill to Scary Jerry shortly. Arctic Assault, a long cooldown. Flash away from Kizno. Scary Jerry's chasing him down. The triple kill in the 2v3. It can't be. He jumps over the wall. Scary Jerry doesn't have the mana or the cooldowns for the Q. Either way, Kizno's out of there. It's only a 2-for-1.
Only a 2-for-1. Man, I love watching Scary Jerry, the preemptive flash against Rock Boom, knowing exactly where he's going to be going. Unfortunately, Steve, looks like you're right. We're going to be cresting the 10-minute mark. There's not enough time to even get a dive going off. But I do want to say, kind of going back to Zyko's point, I would unequivocally say right now that they are, for sure, the best bot lane in the league.
I didn't know where you were going to go with that because you were pausing. I was like, this is an absolute. Are you going to end it with like a non-absolute statement? But
no.
You doubled
I was
down.
double checking. I was like, they are definitely the best landing bot lane for sure. And then I was looking at all the other bot lanes. I'm like, yeah, no, they're the best bot lane.
I mean, based on just what they've been able to do in the 2v2s, I haven't seen anybody else consistently get 2v2s as much as Scary Jerry Zyko. And okay, it's past 10 minutes. But just barely. I can't believe these over-unders are so close because it looks like we might have another dive happening or at least an invade from Yuji. Messages is roaming in. Yuji and Zyko could be in trouble. They turn onto messages. Yuji just says, focus on the Jace. They get out of there. Last cone away to safety as Spyrex does come in, try and block messages escape path, but I don't think they're going to get it. They flash forward. The fear for Spyrex. He just completely whips the ult. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Still has the damage for the kill. Kizno thinks that maybe they can still turn this one around. Rock Boom does not have ultimate, though. The Kaisa can't get in. Crash down from Zyko. Spyrex over the wall. This is a perfect fight for MU. Scary Jerry's even got time to come in. And the chain of corruption goes a little bit wide. But yet again, ultimates just don't matter. We're just auto-attacking them. Spyrex and Scary Jerry were in the perfect spots for that fight. And LiT take a fight that they cannot end.
That's absolutely wild. We missed like every skill shot ultimate in the game, and it does not matter. That's how far ahead we are. Maryville. Niles.
Okay, he has Equalizer. Drops it down. Roasting messages. Almost one-shots messages.
That was remarkably close. That was so close that he almost got a turnaround there, but still 15-5, 6,000 gold in the lead. All right. Last game. What was it? We had 5 turrets and 3 dragons at 17 minutes?
We had 6 turrets and 3 dragons at 17:30.
17:30. All right. Okay. We'll have another over-under because I'm having fun with these. This game
Hey, they haven't got a turret yet.
True. This game is a little bit slower. I'm going to say 25-29.
Over-under Kisno lives here. 0.5.
He lives.
I don't think he does. He just already assaulted, no flash, he's dead.
Yeah, he got body blocked. Yeah, he got body blocked. Okay. 25-29 game time.
25-29? I think over. I think the fact that we don't have the Tristana to take the turrets this time. I don't even know what Plux is doing here. I'm not going to lie. Somehow we ended up in the enemy's bot jungle. And MU say, yeah, we'll take another kill on a Scary Jerry. So 7-0-5 for the Varus. What was Scary Jerry? Did Scary Jerry die last game? I'm trying to even remember now.
I don't think so.
I don't know if anybody on production could check that for me. I would love to know at least what his KDA was, because this is a crazy KDA.
Spyrax was 9-0-2 and Scary Jerry was 6-0-11.
6-0-11. So currently 13-0-16. Scary Jerry. Wow, yeah, that's one for the ages. The highest kill in one game record is Quad at 15 on an Azir game. Fun fact, Rockboom actually has a Jhin game with 14 kills. So let's see if Scary Jerry's able to, do anything like that. Got a little scrap here. Plux does jump onto Zyko. It seems like Maryville want to get out of here. Not sure exactly how that started or what we're fighting for, but nobody will go down. 1v1 topside, though. Somebody might go down here. Niles versus Dragoon. Niles has the damage, but Dragoon's got the shield. He's got the life tank, the Drain tank, the life steal. He's still going to get roasted. The shield's barely keeping him up. There's no burn damage from Niles. He's out of there.
That's the funniest ending to that fight, for sure. You're just running away with 10 HP and a shield, making sure the Leandros doesn't kill him.
Oh,
get him!
Kisno's here. Okay, Niles, you got it. At least trade your life if you want to get out of here. Flash from Kisno. Dragoon's walking forward. Should have the shield. There it is. Roasting Kisno. Leandri's burn. He should be fine.
Yeah, it's all right at the end of it, but wow, just like the amount of damage that Maryville is already doing, just kind of across the board, and
Why are we even having the camera go away from this at this point? Oh, actually, that's a big shield. Crash down. It actually breaks the entire shield as Dragoon will fall to UG. Oh, flash from UG. Oh, Arc assault to dodge from Kisno. Give a thumbs up from both sides. Respect from the competitors, but the second one lands, and UG grabs the double.
Damn. I don't, there's not a lot more to say at this point, right? Like, Maryville and FlyQuest have been super dominant today, but Maryville was even more dominant today than FlyQuest was. Obviously they're different opponents, like different circumstances, but it is crazy to watch how aggressive this is, and I believe...
Okay, Scary Jerry. Ooh, Flash is back, and Yuji actually gets hit by the dredge line. Scary Jerry still alive. Messages has the damage, but he's just not even auto-attacking the Varus, so Scary Jerry will live. LiT are just throwing everything at MU, and I think at this point they're like, this is just a frustration fight, man. Like, what was going on there? MU gifted an ace at 15 minutes into this one. Yeah, it's looking done and dusted. It's looking toasted. It is looking over for LiT.
I think this is the split of Challengers League that has the biggest differential from the top teams to the bottom league, to the bottom teams that we might have ever had.
I'm trying to think back to past.
Like,
splits.
okay,
CLG
like
Faith was
Faith and Flyfam were definitely not the best showing.
That was the split. We're gonna put it that way. But yeah, I hear what you're saying here. Right now, we are witnessing what seems like just teams that are out of each other's league. One of them clearly outperforming the other one is Kisno trying to take the Herald, and MU. They can do literally anything they want on the Rift right now. This collegiate representative. You talk about the path to pro. You talk about collegiate versus amateur. MU are just stepping up in this split and just
And he
slaughtering
lives.
everybody. Save FlyQuest, but I mean, hey, that's why it was the Super Heavyweight SmackDown. Yuji doesn't even die right there. He's gonna get out. Wait, no. Dragon's Rage, get out of there. Jump to Niles. Oh, he's baiting Kizno in. He waited till the last second. No shot.
I wish you
MU
guys
can
could see
do
my
no
face.
wrong.
I wish you guys could see my face. It's like, there's no way. He's getting away with it.
Yeah,
Psycho?
I mean, we're just having fun right now. At this point, MU are that far ahead, and I think LiT are just answering it. They're like, sure, we'll just slam our faces against your faces for a little bit in our base. Why not? Messages is here. He's just going to die immediately. Flashes away. Does actually live. Rockboom jumps in. Massive shutdown on the Scary Jerry. There we go. Some gold in the Kaisa's pocket. Oh! Snipes coming through from the way.
Wow. I think we are actually going to see a new record for most kills in a single game coming from either Jerry or Yuji because of how far ahead they are. And one of the things
11 and 10.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm already looking at between these two players, or this team in general, is Jerry has very specifically said he's still trying to go pro. And before this split, I would have been like, eh. But now we're starting to see. And we know that Yuji was a player for us that every single split, he was in our top 5 for the most valuable prospect list. He's still continuing to showcase a performance where he probably deserves at least an honorable mention once again. Spyrex was a player that we know FlyQuest was looking to potentially recruit for their LCS team, but they couldn't offer him enough money. He was like, well, I don't know if I want to do that, or I could go get my degree, but I'm still going to use my skills as a League of Legends player to guarantee that I'm going to have scholarships in order to make sure that I can do whatever I want after that. And so it's kind of crazy the amount of talent that we have already on this roster that we could potentially see hopefully come back someday and potentially be future LCS talent.
You haven't even mentioned Niles technically was
Already
an LCS
was.
starter. So, yeah, there's a lot of talent on MU. A lot of players that have either made that journey, had been looking at that journey, or are continuing on that journey. Either way, no matter where you slice it, they are performing. They are impressing. Maryville University are stepping up, and they're looking to end this one faster than the last. They don't even have to bear it because it hasn't even spawned. 18:30 on the timer. Kizno will try and get the dragon. We're dropping Herald. Maryville University.
Oh my God.
5 members grouped up in the top lane. They have a full wave. They have the Herald dropped, and it's
Hey,
4
Spyrex
members defending from LiT. We're jumping at the first Nexus turret. There's nobody to really hit it, though. It's just Scary Jerry, Varus with range. Edgeline misses on the Niles. If we get a couple kills, that could work. UG looking at messages, not going to find a Dragoon, heavily chunked out. I don't think that MU actually have the gas in the tank, but let's see if they can make it work regardless. This is a cannon wave. Equalizer goes down, will prevent LiT from walking forward from that direction. Dredgeline lands from Flux. The engage is there. We're trying to get onto the back line, but Psycho with a massive engage onto everybody, and Maryville University get a 4-for-0 team fight win at the Nexus. 1 turret remaining. Again, it's going to take them a while. LiT will respawn before the wave makes it. I don't think MU can close this one out. They have teleport. Okay, good sniper messages. We have teleport from Spyrex. He's going to teleport to the super minion. It's taking up all the turret shots. We got to get this turret, which gives LiT time to actually hit them. Messages is there. Rockboom's there. We're jumping in. Scary Jerry could be in some trouble. He's trying to reposition. Very low health bar. Rockboom jumps in. Rockboom gets another shot down. As Spyrex and Yuji, the last remaining members from Maryville University, and they got nowhere to escape to. LiT will defend the base. They will not lose right here, right now.
That was 4,000 gold in shutdowns that just went over to LiT. And they are still down 13,000 gold.
Well, when you put it like that, Josh.
It's crazy. This game has been absolutely crazy. And Yuji and Jerry, for people who are counting, 12 and 11. Okay. They gotta break 15.
Yeah, 15's the record the quad has right now.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, the fact that LiT were able to die, respawn, and then fight again.
It's a little ridiculous.
Might be one of the funniest things I've seen in a League of Legends game in a long time. So
they were like 20-second death timers.
Yeah, it's so short. Either way, at this point, Maryville is already looking, again, they have lost 1 series. It was the FlyQuest Challengers. these two teams, I think, are pretty clearly our top two. But I actually want to ask a question to you and also pose it to Twitch chat. Where do you think Supernova ranks in all of this? Because Supernova has only lost one series, and that was to Maryville. And Maryville claims that they think Supernova is better than FlyQuest.
At least Scary Jerry was on record saying that. So when I had a chance to talk with him earlier, I don't know if he speaks for everybody at Maryville, but an interesting question to ask as Baron Buff is picked up here by MU. They have 2 members deep in enemy territory. Spyrex has to be careful here. You can't just completely disrespect your opponents. Zyko is going to fall down. Niles onto the back line, but Rockboom jumps forward. We're still looking at Spyrex. Scary Jerry, Niles, and Yuji have split the fight on the right side. LiT finally take down Spyrex. Double kill to Rockboom. They have no Nexus turrets alive, so Yuji just has to stop the backs, and we have a 2v1 at the base.
Oh,
Messages
man.
He's going to try and heal up. Teleport completes from Dragoon. Kizno cannot get away. Yuji can chase him down. And now Scary Jerry, Niles, they just have to take the 2v2 fight. Stun onto Scary Jerry. Messages jumps in. Scary Jerry just has too much damage. They take the 2v2. Double kill. Speed run complete. Maryville University closed this one out just over the 22-minute mark after padding his stats a little bit longer. 13 kills to the jungle and the AD carry, and a 2-0 in the series.
Absolutely crazy stuff. Like, this was... I thought the FlyQuest series against AoE might have been the most one-sided League of Legends I've seen in a long time. This was the most one-sided League of Legends I've seen in a long time. These guys, absolutely insane. And both Yuji and Scary Jerry in one game, making their way to tie for fourth most kills in a game in the same game. I think that's the craziest part. It was the same game that they both did it. A huge blowout win from Maryville, and it's already on record. That was the highest gold per minute for the first game that they played. Highest gold per minute, 2372 team gold per minute.
That's absurd.
That is absurd.
Well,
they also have
back. Oh yeah.
They also have the second. They are number 1. They are number 2, and they are number 5 on that list.
Yeah, Maryville are good, I think, is the takeaway there. LiT's going to have to go back to the drawing board. Again, they are still holding the line for playoffs for top 8, and they do have some easier matches ahead of them. They got 2 final ones against TLC, and then I believe it was DSG were their final matches. So they can still hold that line, but this was a rough one. MU going to feel good about that. We'll hear from one of their victorious members after this break, so we'll see you soon.
Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. We are here with the victorious Zyko support from Maryville University after a shellacking in that series. Rapid fire 2-0. We're going to have to check. I think that's got to be the fastest series that we've had all split. It would not surprise me. Both the games were under 24 minutes by the game end. Was that... Well, what were you expecting going into that one, Zyko? I want to hear from you first off of like what the team preparation was, because I know you had a tough, close loss to FlyQuest yesterday. Was this like the team playing extra angry, extra hungry? Like, it felt like this was different. Something was different here.
Our problem for going into today was just have fun and just win. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, at this point, you guys are looking to be right up there with FlyQuest, but we know that Supernova is also in that ranking, at least in the hunt so far. You guys took them down already, but I'm kind of curious, how do you kind of rank these different teams? Because we know that Scary Jerry said that they think Supernova is better than FlyQuest.
We've scrimmed Supernova quite a couple times, and our scrims versus them, like, it's like pretty even. But we haven't scrimmed FlyQuest that much yet. So playing against Supernova, like they're all really good. They're all really talented, and I feel like the games versus Supernova was harder than versus against Fly, even though we lost. So that's what I think.
Interesting. I'm curious maybe some of the things that you could learn from those types of scrims, because if it's close, that means that you're winning some, you're losing some. And I know that you had mentioned to Mazel that one of the things that you're working on personally is, leadership, shot calling, and the ability to just win lane, like control the bot side. So are there any like lessons you've picked up from the scrim partners that you've had so far this split? Like, oh, I need to do that differently. I need to do this better.
Oh yeah, I definitely learned a lot going into the split versus many good teams and like players, which made us a lot better, I would say.
Give me an example. What's one of the biggest ones that comes to mind when you're like, oh, I sucked at this at the beginning, but I'm getting better at it now?
I would say like in the beginning, looking for fights was like a more like difficult part, because I would be playing like in the beginning of the season, I played more Milio than like engage supports, so like I can't really start a fight. I would say like starting fights as an enchanter like Milio, it's something like I have to learn, which learned a lot during scrims.
Now,
had a couple of really good ones that last game too.
Yeah, and we also know that a lot of your teammates have either LCS aspirations or have a history of playing in LCS. Like, we know that Jerry is still looking to go pro. What are your aspirations in terms of League of Legends, and how far are you hoping to take this?
My aspirations has always been the same as Jerry, as both of us like we're trying our best to like pursue going pro if possible, and if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, then we can just get our degrees. So it's
not a bad secondary option, but I'm happy that you still have that same focus, that same frame of mind. It's fun to hear from the players about that. Well, we're going to let you get going here, but before that, I got one final question for you, Zyko. This is one that we've been asking a couple of people. It's one of my favorite ones to ask. Josh, you can join along if you want. I give you $1 million in a briefcase, in cash, untaxed right now.
That's a lot of
money. It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
But for the rest of your career, you have to play Yuumi. Do you take the money?
I would take the money.
You would take the money?
I would take
How long
the money.
do you think you'd still be a pro after that?
Yeah. Do you retire immediately? Do you just like take it and say that's good?
I would just take it and say it's good. I've always been a big Yuumi guy.
Okay.
Since
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Since last season.
Yeah, I can also
Yuumi's a fun
imagine
chat.
it'd be hard to maybe get a job. Oh, wait. Now I actually want to ask, because it made me think about it in Pickman. Why were you hovering Warwick and then a Mumu? Me and Josh were trying to figure that out.
I was just requests from friends.
Uh-oh.
Request from friends. Okay. We'll leave it
All
at
right,
that.
all
We'll leave
right.
it at that. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Zyko. We're going to let you get out of here. But congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right. Request from a friend, clearly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's all we need
Well,
to get into there.
That's all we need to get into there. Josh, what a weekend of games. We had the SmackDown yesterday. We had the teams that were in the SmackDown today smash their opponents in record times. And let's take another look at the standings here for one last time in Week 6. It's shaken up a little bit. We knew it would at the top at least. But the bottom, we still haven't seen any separation between these teams down there.
Yeah, there are still a lot of teams with 2 or 3 series wins, and they have different numbers of series left to play. The big ones that I'm kind of looking at right now are, of course, AoE, who still have 3 series left against Fear, Wildcard, and DSG. And then on the other half, we also have Supernova, who also have 3 series left against Fear, FlyQuest, and Wildcard. So we will see a lot of movement towards, the top of the seeds and also towards that big race for playoffs right on the bottom. If you get to 3 series wins, you're almost guaranteed an opportunity to play in playoffs, and there's not a whole lot of time left to try and get them.
Not a lot of time. Also, by my calculations, TLC would actually be in that 6th place position. So swap those two around in your mind. There's a little bit of movement there in particular, but DSG, Mirage still struggling as the teams that are looking like they will go into that promotion tournament unless they can turn things around in those final weeks that you were just talking about. But with that said, that's Week 6 wrapped up. So let's take a look at our Samsung SSD Fast 5 and catch up on all the stats that happened throughout the week. Josh, when you first take a look at this list, tell me, what are the most impressive stats you're seeing? I got a couple in my mind, but I want to hear from you first.
I mean, the first one is always the fastest legendary, or whatever the biggest gap is. And so the fact that they're getting that at 906, there aren't a lot of really cheap legendaries in the game right now that you go for. And so the fact that Quad is hitting his so much faster than everyone else, right? You have to remember, Spyrex is not on this list. And we just saw how quickly they played. He's the only Maryville member who is not on here.
Oh, wow, you had to call him out. But
had to call him out. Sorry.
Yeah, even on the Tristana game, got a solo kill, but still wasn't able to pull that off. That is interesting. It just shows how Quadtosi messages weekends win. Also, shout out to Sajed for the 2-minute 26 seconds. The fastest AD carry kill. That's pretty blistering speed right there. Also, the supports are really close. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, also, I mean, most of them are pretty close. Jenkins has a pretty decent spot right there. He did pretty well this weekend, but it's always interesting to see. As long as there's a cluster, it tells you, everybody's, staying on track with what they're supposed to do. And then whenever you see something like, oh my god, that's a big difference, that's where you always look. And that's why I like the Quad and Sajed ones, right? Because they are probably the biggest differences that we have.
Yeah, they separate themselves from the rest of the pack the most. So that's our Samsung SSD Fast 5 for Week 6 of the LCS Challengers League. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. We got 2 more weeks to solidify seeding, figure out who's going to go into the promotion tournament and who continues on into playoffs. Thanks, Josh, for sticking with us through the whole day. I only came in the last 2 games. Woo. Felt like my day is over quickly, but thanks everybody who watched, for tuning in, for supporting the players, everybody in production for keeping the gears rolling, and all the players for competing. We'll be back. 07's in the chat for Week 7 of the NACL. We'll see you there.